Before we go
Enter.
any further, can we take
Okay.
off our club hats here? Can we be fair?
I think he's slightly past his prime, and I think this season will maybe show that a little bit. Like
I just think it's disgraceful. It's a complete lack of respect for what those managers have done over a consistent period of time.
he's the guy. He's the guy, and he it's the greatest achievement in League of Ireland history. What
He's
is going on,
taking.
guys, and welcome back to LOI Fan TV. I hope you're all keeping very, very well indeed. I'm joined today by Luke Jennings, and we're doing a very, very special video. We're going to be looking at every single manager in the LOI Premier Division going into the 2025 season and ranking them on a tier list from 10 to 1. So 10 being our personal thoughts on who would be considered the worst, maybe, and number one being who we consider to be the best. Um, Now, funny enough, actually, I did text Luke earlier on today saying any ideas for a video, man, and all this, and he came back with this idea. I'm actually just after seeing that Irish Footy Vlogs put out a video talking about managers in the league. Now, we haven't copied his idea. It was genuinely said earlier on today, and I don't think it's the same concept. I think he's just I haven't watched his video, but I think he's just talking about the managers and the strength of managers rather than doing a tier list where we're going to be ranking them from 1 to 10. But yeah, there you have it. Luke, how you feeling ahead of this one, man?
Well, I can't. I actually can't wait to slay some people. I actually wish Rory Higgins was still manager of the Derry for them. He should have done
Oh,
it a few months back. I would have had a
yeah,
feel.
yeah. Where would you think Rory Higgins to be, roughly? Are we
Listen,
talking bottom three?
double digits. He'd be in double digits.
Oh, superb.
Oh,
We will jump into it. If you do going to enjoy the video, guys, make sure to drop a like in it down below. If we can hit 50 likes, that would be fantastic. And please do subscribe and let us know your 1 to 10 in the comments as well. But we will start off at number 10, and I have a really, really funny feeling that we might have the same number 10. So I wanted to say at the same time.
all right.
Uh, okay, so I'll go three, two, one, go. We both say it, right?
You say it on go, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Three, two, one, go. Alan Reynolds.
Alan Reynolds.
Ah! I knew it. I knew it. I actually knew it.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, that is so
Uh,
good. I actually think it's the right call as well.
his assistant is better than him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, possibly. Yeah, probably actually.
Yeah,
Probably.
like why,
I
why
I
is
think
he
Alan
on?
Reynolds, I consider Alan Reynolds as an assistant, and I think he's a good assistant manager. I don't think he's like a manager
Couldn't
like.
agree. Couldn't agree more. If it was the other way around, I'd be like, Bows have a great setup going on there.
Yeah,
Stevie
it's
was
a
on
weird
in
one.
charge. Yeah,
Sums
I
them
don't
up,
even,
to be honest.
I don't even know where you start with him. Like, where do you even like where do you go? Like, I suppose more of it is like, what has he done in his career? I know he was at Waterford and he got them promoted, but
Yeah.
come on, they had a Premier Division team in the first division, so like anyone you would have got them up, I would have got
Because
them.
did he go from Waterford to Derry to the under 21 setup back to Waterford as assistant to Keith Long and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
to
that
Bow?
was
Yeah,
it.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, yeah.
That was it.
Um, yeah, mad setup altogether, isn't it? Like, what have Bow's
Yeah,
done? Like, Keith Long on this list somewhere, wherever he is for us both, and they sacked him and they're bringing in and his assistant, like, pretty much at Waterford, you know? It's
they just
mental.
have to replace Keith Long, and yeah, his assistant he couldn't. Like, yeah, like he's just 10, isn't he? I don't even
Yeah.
want to try to justify it. I just feel very strongly about him being 10.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, we'll move on. We'll move on. Number nine, who did you go for?
I went for uh, I went for Tim Clancy. I just think I know he got Cork promoted. Then again, it's the case of best team in the first division. He got drawn
Yeah.
up by the playoff. That was a good achievement, but went to Pats really didn't look good.
Mm.
And he just hasn't done much, and he doesn't really strike me as the most, charismatic, manager. And I've heard players talk like remember when he left Pats and John Daly came in, all the players kind of saying, Jesus Christ, like Tim Clancy, I was saying, what am I like who was it? Paddy Barrett wasn't Paddy Barrett
It
like
could have been, yeah, yeah. I remember some people were slating him, yeah.
mm,
Like, yeah, I agree with you. I've gone Tim Clancy in ninth as well. I just think that I think, and yeah, it's kind of a lot of the time I think the first vision will be different this season coming up now, but a lot of the time there is that one kind of sleeping giant that's in there, whether it's Shell when Ian Morris got us up, or Owen Heary or whoever it was, or it's Cork in this case. There's always that team that have the massive budget. Should have fucking Sean Maguire and Rory Keaton up front. Like it's a no brainer that they're gonna get promoted. Like we could have managed them ourselves. Like so,
yeah.
I do rate him. I think he obviously earned that move to Pats for a reason, and I'm not. I don't want this list to be like a big slandering thing because the level of coaches in League of Ireland has improved drastically over the years. It is a really good level of coaches and stuff. But I think for right, he's still. I think he's still in his early 40s. I think, isn't he? So he's definitely one that if he has a good season with Cork, we could revisit this in a year's time, and he could have got into a mid-table kind of position on this list or something. But for now, I think ninth is fair.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
But I had a feeling we have the same bottom two. We might start to differ here a little bit. I've gone for John Russell in eighth. Now, this is tough because he is probably definitely overachieving with that Sligo side. I think I tipped him to go down last season. 39 years of age. He's a very promising young manager, and he faces a lot of challenges that other coaches don't face in terms of like kind of the budget's probably one of the lowest in the league. Squad size is very small. Trying to build, well, you're kind of constantly losing your best players. Obviously, we've kind of recently seen him lose Simon Power, Ellis Chapman, and the likes and stuff as well. Ed McGinty. So he's always trying to rebuild that squad. So it's a tough, tough ask. And he does play a nice attacking football. And I've kind of, I kind of regret nearly putting him this low, but it's just in terms of maybe some achievements and things like that, and maybe taking longevity into it a little bit and stuff as well. But I've gone for him an eighth, but I think that might be one that I come to regret in the future.
Yeah, he's one. If you maybe would have asked me this time last year, I would have put him there. But it's just I look at like I'd be fascinated to see what he gets on this season now because his squad's been decimated. And last year was decimated, and he still has Sligo respectable, very
Yeah,
respectable on the table.
yeah.
He's young
I
and
might
like
have
even
ranked it. Yeah.
like people say if Bradley left Rovers tomorrow that John Russell will be the he'd be the guy to come in. Like I've heard many people say that like because he
Not a bad
has
shout. Yeah.
he's young, he plays the right style of football, he develops young players. Yeah, like I find it very hard to knock him to be honest. Like he's operating off a shoestring, and yeah, I have a lot of admiration for him, and he seems like a nice guy too.
Yeah. Yeah. Who did you go at number eight instead?
Number eight, I went with Tiernan Lynch.
Tiernan
Um,
Lynch. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, and my rationale for going with Tiernan Lynch in eight is because he hasn't done anything in the league, and you know what? This could be one of those shouts in 6 months' time. You could be out of a job and you say you should have went lower. But like, it could be also be one of those shouts where like there you're in a title race and you're thinking
Yeah.
that's a disgraceful shout. So you just don't know, do you? But I'm supposed to just basing it off when we played Larne and kind of how easy it was playing Larne. Like we walked all over them. And like their only win came when he wasn't their manager. And like
Do you do you not give him credit for getting them into the group stage in the first place though?
I do, but I don't. Like you'll see it yourself. Like that, the draw can be. You have three chances if you get through one round. You know what I mean? And like I think they got a really nice draw in the first round. They got a really nice. I think it was like who was it? It was like some Faroe Islands or something champions. They
Yeah,
got they
yeah.
got a really nice draw. So like it's one of these things. Like they found themselves there the same way TNS did, and I felt TNS like there's no comparison with how they performed. So yeah, I'm just gonna say Tiernan Lynch. I'll be fascinated to see how he gets on. By no means I have a grudge against him. I just think. I'd feel wrong putting him any higher.
Yeah, I've put him in seventh, and I stepped him in above Russell just on the fact that he has won two Northern Irish League titles. I think it's two, and he's obviously got Larne to a group stage of a European competition, which I think you have to take into account. I think it's the first time a Northern Irish side has ever reached the group stage of European competition. I know it is easier. We've seen with Rovers performing well this season, and like how easy Europe is nowadays. Like if Rovers can do well in it, like so. Finishing second in the league just about in their respective leagues. So if that kind of just shows you everything you need to know. But
I'm not even gonna fade it. I'm not even gonna fade it.
no, Tiernan Lynch, I think I just had to put him in there just because of kind of silverware. I bumped him up just above Russell on that. But it is a tough one. I do really like Russell as well. And I was kind of half doing this on like if I was to have like a fictional football team tomorrow, who would I want to have as the manager of it? Do you know what I mean? That's kind of the way I
Mm,
was listening to
okay.
these. Some maybe in that respect, Russell's a bit low because I do like him when he plays attacking football. But I'll just go with Lynch just in terms of the honours he has and that European run with Larne. So I think it does deserve credit.
Yeah, so I kind of did mine off stock. Like, if a big job became available tomorrow, who'd be the most likely 1 to 10? Yeah, my seventh, you're not gonna agree with this, but it is what it is. I put Johnny Caulfield.
Yeah,
And
if you're doing it, I get what you mean. If you're doing it on stock and if you're doing it on who would you want to manage your team tomorrow, your fictional football club tomorrow, I get why you would do that because it's not attractive football. Like
well,
it's
and that's not
effective.
even, it's not even about that. Like, it is partially that, but like, yeah, Ollie Horgan's there with him, and Ollie Horgan. is as much of a good manager as John Russell is, no, sorry, as John Caulfield is. And like I think they're a geo act, and I think if Johnny Caulfield was in Galway by himself, they wouldn't have finished fifth this year, or fifth or sixth, wherever they finished. I think they're very much a caution act, and yeah, I just yeah, simmer enough. I just that was my ceiling for him.
But he has won league titles and cups, hasn't he, with Cork City previously? Obviously has a very good Cork side, Sean Maguire and his kind of pomp and Kieran Sadliers and McNamee's. I'm trying to think of all the players they had back then. Carl Shepherd was there at the time, I think, and they're uh, in their good run, Bolger and
He's
stuff like
very
that. Had a
competent.
great side.
Yeah, no,
Sorry?
no, I'm not knocking him. He's very competent. I suppose I just was looking at the Ollie Horgan angle, and there's technically two managers managing that team, and
Yeah.
like the way he left Cork and just his stock overall, I don't think if you left Galway tomorrow, there'd be many clubs in the Premier Division looking for him. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's my opinion.
I went to them in sixth as well. To be fair, yes, so just one place above you. So I do completely get what you mean in terms of that. Like if that's where I was kind of coming from in terms of that. Like if I wouldn't really want him to be the manager of Shells. Like I wouldn't want him to be the manager of my team. But if we're in a relegation battle and we need someone to come in for 4 or 5 months to get us out of it, he probably is the man you want to go and get. And Galway aren't blessed with the best players in the world, best players in the division, and he had them nearly in the European spots last season, which was an incredible achievement. So definitely deserves credit for that. But I think, yeah, I think we probably both have him in a fair enough spot, similar enough position there. I had him in sixth. Who did you have in sixth yourself?
I'd Kevin Doherty in sixth.
Okay.
I know he
Okay.
won a cup. I know he kept Drogheda up, but I suppose like there's only kind of one way you can if you're judging off the league to finish ninth, and that's quite look. I get he's operating off a shoestring, he's done well, but like there's only one way you can play with that team, and that's probably why I haven't put him higher. It'd be different if he was coming out, playing, tiki taka ball, and they won the cup that way. He kind of, he used his strengths to his advantage, which I respect, and that's why I put him ahead of Caulfield because he's operating off a lesser budget. But yeah, six for me.
Yeah, I like that. Well, I'll touch on Doherty when I get to him on my list. I really rate him though. Fifth for who did you go for in fifth then?
John Russell.
John Russell fifth. Wow, so that's a big kind of discrepancy there in terms of what I had. I had him in
Well,
eighth, even fifth.
and because I put him ahead of Doherty was because of the style of football. Like
Yeah,
he has stuck to his principles of what he wants to play, and to be fair to him, he's done well and he's developed players, and like he hasn't shied away from that. So I have a lot of respect for that, and yeah, I could see him on a very bright future in the league.
yeah. No, I could too. I could too. I suppose we probably should have like outlined like or like done some sort of scoring point system or something. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
probably should have done something like that, I guess. But because I do like if we're taking that thing, that kind of certain things into account, maybe. But I will stand by my list. But I do, yeah, I really like Russell, and I think he has a really bright future in the game, 100%. But in fifth for me, I have gone with Keith Long personally. Um, I think that's probably bang on for him more or less. I think obviously was at Bowes for what was it 8, 9, 10 years nearly. I think it was
Double O
nearly
seven.
was it 7 years?
Yeah, yeah. Zero league, zero cup, 7 years.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. That is superb. How have I never heard that before? Um, but I think he did a really good job with them. Like that Bowes team
He
was
did.
desperate for a while, and he had them. I think he gave them some decent runs in Europe, to be fair. And remember, he had them in the Aviva and Cup finals. I know they didn't win any of them, but Georgie Kelly and they had kind of exciting players coming through, and it felt like every time he was getting a team in place
Best
all the
player.
best players would get snatched from him every at the end of every season. There was Georgie Kelly was promised there for him maybe. Obviously, Danny Mandrew, Danny Grant, like this,
Andy
this goes
Lyons,
on.
Ando
And
Breslin. Yeah,
yeah,
so many.
exactly. Um, just always felt like his best players are getting pinched at the end of every season, and you have to feel sorry for him. That I think he had one maybe bad window when he brought in maybe I think it was around the time John O'Sullivan came in and he didn't hit the ground running at Bowes, a couple of injury problems, and there's a couple of players that came in there, and you kind of wonder about Bowes. Well, is it all down to Keith Long or is all the recruitment to him? Because Pat Fenton was there and he's getting away with murder there as well. So, is that down to him? But obviously he did lose his job in the end, gone on to Waterford, done really really well with them. Had a nice solid season last year, newly promoted side, sixth or seventh in the league, and I think he's one of those managers that always kind of overachieves and is always I think he's always very underrated and looked down upon it. I rate him very, very highly. So yeah, you made it to the top half for me, number five.
Yeah, he's my number four. Yeah, as you say. operating off a shoestring. His teams are always very, like, even when he was at Athlone, he did very well there. And they went to Bows did very well there, developed a number of players. And he's at Waterford and he's building a very strong side
Yeah,
off shoestrings. So, and like there's players like Andy Boyle, the ex-Ireland internationals that want to play for him. And I think there's a lot to be said for that, when you have kind of these big players willing to go down there and play for him, it says a lot. So yeah, no, I think he's a class act, and I kind of feel sorry for him because I feel like he hasn't been given maybe the opportunities that he's deserved in his career.
yeah. No, I'd 100% agree. And he's one of those that if a job became available, I don't think his name's ever like too far away from anyone really. Like his name's never, bar maybe Rovers just because of the history.
Mm.
I feel like any other job in the country, I don't think his name would be like massively far down the list, you know.
No, no, 100%. Who did you put forth?
In fourth, I went with Kev Doherty. I um I really rate him. I think he's another kind of young coach as well, but I think it's the way he speaks sometimes as well when he does his interviews and I remember talking to Dinny Corcoran before the cup semi-finals last year and he said it's like one of the most passionate guys he's ever worked for and I just love that and you can kind of just tell it by him when he's doing an interview after a game. He's so passionate and so dedicated to his work and to get a part-time draw aside, keep them up last season and then to kind of achieve the incredible. And it just felt like the belief never dwindled from them at all. Like it always felt like no matter how bad things got, like they had a belief in their squad. And I know they started the season off badly last year, but a lot of the results were very tight and very narrow, and they were kind of missing out by a goal or two, and it was just unlucky. And then towards the end of the season, they were fantastic and obviously developed the system that works in terms of the kind of five at the back. And to be fair, like I was expecting Derry to be on the front foot in that cup final and to dominate possession and to really like kind of walk all over Drogheda. And Drogheda, like it wasn't like they played hoofball and hit them on the counter attack. I thought they actually like were well due that win. Like they were performed really, really well in the day. Tactically, I think he got it absolutely spot on. Outclassed Roy Higgins completely in the tactical department and he's gotten Drogheda United into European football, which is just a fantastic, incredible achievement. It has to be said. So I think I had to give him his credit for that, and I think I just like him as a bloke as well. Do you know when you just kind of see someone talk and you're like, he just seems like a nice fella, and you'd actually play for him. You would play for the guy, and as a fan, you'd always get behind him. So yeah, for me, I stuck him in the top four.
Yeah, well, you have players like, Connor Keely going back to him.
Yeah,
So like players like that, like I've played for him before, went back and said, no, I want to play for him again. So it's always a good sign.
think that's that story of like I think it was he a postman and working for he's a Drogheda manager for his first season and he's a postman as well and he'd be doing all that stuff and now he's obviously kind of I think they're going full time this year for the first time and it might be a little bit of a hybrid type thing so they can keep hold
Mm.
of Darren Markey and stuff because I think a few of them work and stuff so they're probably making some exceptions for certain players but they're going towards that full time thing but like to have a part time squad and then to compete with all the other managers and teams in the league. I just think it's fantastic. And yeah, the story for me was incredible. And I was delighted to see him lift that FEI Cup last season. So yeah, I think that was a fantastic achievement that I had to stick them number four.
Before we go
Enter
any further, can we take
yeah.
off our club hats here? Can we be fair? And can we look
Yeah.
at it like, as you said, look at it over the course of history?
What I've done in this is taken my emotion out of this completely, right? And I have um like took away any partisan, any tribal type deal. And I've done it on if I have a team playing a match tomorrow, if I own owner of a football club, I have a match playing tomorrow, who do I want to be manager? So in third, it's Stephen Bradley.
I knew that was coming.
I'm taking all
Four
tribe,
leagues in a row.
all
No, Kevin
boys. I'm
Doherty's
taking.
fourth because of an FAI Cup, and Stephen Bradley's third because of four leagues in a row and knockout stage in the Conference League.
I've removed how many
Okay.
FA Cups has Stephen Bradley won?
One.
One. That's it. That's it. With the
How many
biggest
how many
budget.
FAI Cups has Damien Duff won?
Oh, he's been here for 3 years with the lowest budget in the league.
Battered against Derry, who Kevin Doherty had a dance
Where
over.
we using the final that year? No, Bradley for me.
We're in the
He
Conference
is
League that year.
he's a good manager, but he's not one of the best in the league. He's not. He's plays five at the back
That's a
every
disgrace.
week. He plays five at the back against UCD, against Finn Harps. No matter who it is, he's tactically
It's not a five at the
not
back.
great. He's tactically not great. And he's
It's
had
not
the
a five at
biggest
the back.
budget in the league for the last how many years? Of course you're going to win the league. Like you've got the best players in every position. You've got
Look at
two of the
Derry.
best
Look
players
at
in every
Derry.
position.
Look at
Yeah,
Derry.
and they rightfully got sacked. And I think Stephen Bradley, he's fine. He's fine. He's good. Like he's good. But when he's linked to jobs abroad, I'm just kind of sitting there thinking he would be sacked within 2 or 3 months. He would. He's not. He's not. I don't think he's that guy. And I don't think he's been able to develop those skills because he hasn't worked with a team that he's had to build. He's just been kind
But
of
look at the
given
players he's
the best
developed.
players.
Look at the players he's developed. Gavin Bazunu, Liam Scales, Andy
Gavin
Lyons.
Bazunu who played about 5 games for Rovers before moving,
And
and he's just a
he saved,
generational talent.
he
Like,
went down to Cork and saved Kieran Sadler's
yeah, and
penalty. What do
he's
you
a
mean?
generational talent.
Manager Bradley
That's
put him
due
in.
to your fantastic academy. I'll take nothing away from your academy coaches. Gavin Bazunu was the Stephen Bradley, like, wasn't
Bradley put
an
him in when
artifact.
Alan Manis was on the bench that day. He put him in.
No, I'm not saying he's not good at developing certain players and doing certain things, but I just don't think he's the best manager in the league. I think he's been
If we would
handed
have
a
had this
lot.
a conversation a year ago, I would have agreed with a lot of what you were saying about the tactics and stuff. But this
Okay,
year in Europe, he went to Rabovian, 20,000 people, and got a draw there. And tactics were spot on. We nearly nicked it. Like we've
they were
gotten out of
poor.
the
They
Europa
were very
Conference League.
poor
You
that
you
side.
can't you can't say that the tactics aren't spot on when we've gotten out of we finished 10th in the Europa Conference League. Like we beat Luka 3-0 at home, wiped the floor with them. Like they are an established
Or
European team.
Luca were desperate, desperate,
Well, they got in the
and
playoffs.
and you
Celtic got
and
the
you
playoffs.
and you just about you like you're well. What about your league form this season? Miles off it, miles off the pace.
100% the first half of the season wasn't good enough, but you have to
Yeah,
look at the squad in which we were putting out there. It was shocking town. We were literally when we played Hughes at home when Will Jarvis had a field day, like what was it, like Marcus Poom and Gary O'Neill were playing centre halves. Like come on, like it was diabolical how bad the injury crisis was. And the second half of the season reflects that. We nearly caught us. And like look, he's won the league,
nearly beaten him.
he's were the best team. He's were the best team, but like you have to take that into account as well, you know?
For me, I think he's been given the biggest budgets by a country mile, and he's delivered decent results. Europe up to this season, Europe had been really poor for the 3 or 4 seasons leading up to this year. His performances in Europe had been really bad, and this year you might have cracked the code a bit. Obviously, Johnny Kenny and Ferrugia were great, and he kind of had enough time to develop a game plan that worked and things like that. And it's been a nice draw of obviously in the group stage playing TNS and Larn kind of pub teams. So they've had a nice run of it, you know. So
Rapid
Apoel
Surge
Rapid
beat us
Vienna
3-0. Come on, like you got a perspective is everything here.
and Chelsea beat you 5-1. Like so, Zurich and like what do you mean?
Sure,
Like
look, Chelsea are Chelsea, aren't they? Like Joe Felix came off the bench. Come, Madueke started on the right wing. Like you, like this is what you're up against.
yeah, but Armstrong Flex couldn't even get into the Zurich team. Like, do you know what I
Right,
mean?
let's move on.
No, yeah. Well, who did you go for in third? I
Okay,
genuinely have badly there.
okay, yeah, okay, whatever. For me, third, and I'll tell you why. And I'm not knocking him. And as I said, if
Here we
Bradley was
go.
to leave Rovers tomorrow, I'd want him to be the next Rovers manager, Damien Duff. And it's no knock on him as a manager. It's no knock on what he's done this year. I think he's a fantastic manager. I think he'll go on to great things. I think he'll be the future Ireland manager. I'm just looking 3, 4 years into his managerial career. What does he have? He has one league, unbelievable achievement, 100%. But that's it. And you look at the other two that are ahead of him, and they are League of Ireland. The two that are ahead of him are League of Ireland Hall of Famers. Like they are, they probably go down as two who's the greatest League of Ireland managers in history, alongside Jim McLaughlin. Like, and you just you can't put somebody like Stephen Kenny or Stephen Bradley below someone that's won one league. I just think it's disgraceful. It is a complete lack of respect for what those managers have done over a consistent period of time. And I understand the Shelbourne League win was huge, and it was an
Then what are
unbelievable
you? What then? What? How come you? If you're that argument you just used there, but you have Russell over Caulfield, and Caulfield's won league titles and cups, and Russell hasn't done that.
league title. He's won one league. He's won one league.
Caulfield has,
Yeah, he's won one league.
and a cup or two as well, isn't it?
And he won
So
what's it,
you're
one
gonna
or
you're gonna
two FA
disrespect
Cups.
John Caulfield by putting him below
Listen,
Johnny
but he
Russell.
done nothing in Europe. He like this is it as well. You look at the top two. What I have, these are fellas that have competed in Europe. Johnny Caulfield never competed in Europe with his team. Like John Russell done more in Europe than John Caulfield, and he's only been a manager for the last like 5, 6 years. So, anyways, that's my thoughts. That's why Damien Duff turf. No disrespect, no hate towards the guy. He's a great manager. You have a great future. But as of right now, I just don't justify putting him ahead of League of Ireland legends, and that's why I think Stephen Bradley and Stephen Kenny are.
But you know when where he did come ahead of League of Ireland Legends?
last season.
Yeah, in our
Well,
most
if you
recent
were to
case
use that
study, in
logic,
our
right?
most recent
If
case study.
if you were to use that logic, right, you'd be saying that like Claudio Ranieri is a better manager than Jose Mourinho because Leicester won the league that season. Like that's the logic you're using here.
Is it though? Is it though? I don't
It
think it
is,
is. I
100%
don't
is.
think it
Like
is.
Damien Duff has one trophy, and like that season when they won the league, he finished. Ranieri finished ahead of Wenger, Mourinho, and basically you're basing this one trophy off their whole career, which I think is very unfair.
Yeah, but what I'm basing it off is the fact that Ranieri didn't take over and build like a project for 3 years where like it was like building up to this moment. Like he wasn't building Leicester year on year on year to create this. It wasn't like it was kind of a one-off wonder season. Whereas Duff took a team that was newly promoted, came seventh, got to a cup final. The next season came fourth or whatever it was, got European football, had a stab at that, and then won the league. It was a kind of a gradual process,
Wonder, no,
progress
I
into it.
fully agree.
And I do appreciate what you're saying completely about like achievements and titles and stuff like that. And it makes sense. Of course it does. What I was going off was my opinion on who I would want to manage my football team and who I think is the best coach and manager for like a game. Do you know what I mean? Like who would win a
I
battle of
hear you.
wits? Do you get me? Like,
No, I understand you, yeah, but yeah, like look, I said what I gotta say in it. I just think like the gap with like Damien Duff took over a newly promoted side. He had a decent budget. He did well in his first year, got to a cup final. But like like climb built like Johnny Caulfield did it at Cork. Making a bog standard League of Ireland team a title contender or a title winner is a much easier task than say winning the Premier League. You know what I mean? Like the discrepancy. It's not like there's a Celtic and Rangers at the top of our league. There isn't. You know,
who do you think was
Rovers
better
do have a
manager
bigger
out of
budget.
Klopp and Guardiola? Who's better manager for you?
Klopp and Guardiola. Well, say Guardiola off trophies. I
Would
know
you?
Guardiola never challenged himself probably at a lesser club, but you'd have to say Guardiola.
Yeah, okay. That was just a general question. Uh, right,
Fair enough.
second. Who did you go for?
I remember Stephen Bradley second. I
Yeah,
just
that's fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, four titles in a row. I think he picks himself, and there always was that European question mark over him. I think this season he's answered those calls. We'll see if he gets on the knockouts. His squad's going to get decimated a bit. We'll see, but yeah, I think he's only turned 40. What he's done, nearly got sacked, kind of turned that around. Won the cup, won the league four times. Didn't win it this year, but made up for it in Europe. I think he's earned himself a shot over the water. I think he will do one more year with us, try win the league back, and then he'll go. Obviously a lot of that's with his son as well. And
Yeah.
I think yeah, I think he's earned that. I think he's earned that opportunity across. I know you're saying you probably think he'll get sacked, but I think like if Pat Fennell went to Hibs off
There's
winning,
maybe more to do with not getting enough time as well, like because it is so
yeah,
cutthroat in the
I don't know.
UK.
I
Like,
understand football league culture is
yeah,
very
different. Like,
cynical,
yeah.
but yeah, I think he definitely has earned that opportunity. And I think when it's all said and done, and when he does leave this league, he will be remembered as one of the he'd be in the conversation for like if you were to say who's your top five best ever League of Ireland managers, I think he would be in there.
Well, yeah, I guess. I guess so.
Wipe the floor with you.
Number two, my number two is the St. Patrick's Athletic manager
Oh,
Stephen
that's
Kenny.
disgraceful. Oh, that is
The
disgraceful.
the former Irish
That is disgraceful.
failed manager of our national team where he
That is
failed.
disgraceful.
No, listen, Stephen Kenny is a fantastic Deco out manager and is inhaled as a king and a hero and not everything. And I'm not taking away from anything. I just think this season coming up now, I think he's slightly past his prime, and I think this season will maybe show that a little bit. Like Pats have pumped in so much investment behind him,
Well, what
and
what are you
the,
going off? He's past his prime. They nearly caught both of us at the end of the league. They were getting relegated when he took
yeah,
over.
yeah. What I'm saying, I just think that I think he'll be found out this season a little bit tactically. Like, that's just what I'm thinking because I just think he plays a certain way that I think could be nullified this season. I think if managers can cop onto it a little bit, I don't think he has many other plan Bs kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Um, I just think like I think the Pats team is so good that there's so much quality in the team that they should be performing to that level. So they might be my favorites to win the league. They could be that. But I just don't think he's a holy grail. He's amazing. He's great. He's great.
What are you
But he's
basing
the
this off
sec
though? Like,
for me, if I was having a football team, in a fictional match, he's the second manager in second place in this list for me. I don't, whatever logic you want to use, it is what it is. Like,
I understand you want Damien Duff telling you Ross, you're the man and you want him to be your manager. I get that, but you got to look at the history here, man. Like he nearly got like fucking what he did in 2016 with Dundalk was the greatest ever achievement this league has ever seen. Like he
until
nearly
that
got them
was the
to the
greatest
champion.
achievement the league has ever seen
Oh
until this
my
year.
God. Oh my
Until,
God. Oh my days.
until this year. Until this year, man.
You're relentless. You're absolutely relentless. Oh, anyway, sorry, that's your number two.
That's my number two,
Well,
Stephen
he's
Kenny.
my number one.
Oh, fucking hell. You're not gonna believe it, guys. We just filmed about 20 minutes there. Our Zoom call ended and we started a new one. And we filmed about 10, 15 minutes at least, I'd say. And yeah, never pressed record. So there's a lovely lies debate just out there somewhere in the universe that will never air on YouTube, unfortunately. But
Look,
Luke, I think you were
probably for the
go back.
best.
We'll go back to. We'll go, probably for the best, actually. Yeah, we'll go back to it. You were saying who your number one was, and I believe it was certain St. Patrick's Athletic manager. I can't believe
Yeah,
we
it
did him.
was. I can't remember doing again. Like you're actually lucky because he was saying some mad stuff about Damien Duff and oh, you don't even want to hear it. But anyways, yeah, Stephen Kelly is first. Yeah, Dundalk's achievement in 2016 was
I'm just trying to. I'll actually just make sure we record there as well. Like, for fuck's sake, like.
bro. No, I'm Steve. I'm Stephen Kelly.
You don't know how annoying it is to not,
I
I'd say,
can't
like,
believe we're
'cause
doing this
you just
again.
watch it, it's fine, but like we were literally talking for like 20 minutes and it's
Oh,
just done.
no.
Like,
Oh,
oh,
anyways, okay, yeah, no, look, Stephen Kenny's first, Dundalk 2016, greatest manager in League of Ireland modern history. Yeah, he's up there with Jim McLaughlin, greatest League of Ireland manager ever. Yeah, he's at Pats now. Bad Ireland spell, but he's back at Pats and he's doing well with them. He's looking like he's going to win the league. Great
mm.
run at the end of the season, brought them from relegation to nearly win the
Looking
league.
like he's gonna win the league. It hasn't even started yet. Like,
And I think he probably
looking like
will.
he's gonna win the
But
league. Fucking hell. You're
but
sort of
Ross
halfway
thinks
through the
the
thing,
Tupper's
like
going to
6 points
win the
clear.
Champions League. I think the Stephen Kenny's going to win the League of Ireland. You can pick who's biased and
That's
who's.
some that's some fan, isn't it? Like, that's some confidence to have. Like,
I'm just real. You know what I mean? Like you're here telling me how Damien Duff like what were you saying? Like you're like there's so much stuff that you said in that last video that I
I
wish
know.
was
I
out
can't
there
even
for
remember the
everyone.
shite I was talking. Like,
Oh, you're saying with Damien Duff like commanding more respect because he's won one
yeah.
trophy
No,
over in
here,
England.
what I said was because Damien Duff obviously is my number one in my list, right? And it's and like the point I was making was if anyone on this list walks into any dressing room in the world, and which one commands the most respect and which one brings the best energy, biggest personality. Stephen Kenny mumbling and jumbling over his words, it doesn't have the same effect as Damien Duff, who comes in and just in a stormtrooper outfit and everyone's just rolling on the
This
floors. Like it's just he's the guy. He's the guy, and it's the greatest achievement in League of Ireland history. Is taking a 50-1 outside shot, taking a stab at it, and just running away with it and knocking it out of the park.
I get more of a buzz off Roddy Collins. I'm not even messing.
What he
He
calls a
comes
great character.
the full suit, the full looking the part, hair slicked back, tactics on the board. Right,
Yeah.
lads, 3 points. It's happening. No, that's a bit
Well,
of me. Damien
unfortunately, he's not
Duff,
on the list. But
the only respect he commands is because of his playing career. None of it because he's a manager. And if he went to England, it would be based off him being a player, him getting that respect that you're saying that he would get over as Stephen Bradley if they were both given the same opportunity.
none of it in his managerial
No,
career.
not none of it.
None
But you
of
know what I
it
mean?
is very, very strong, Mr. Jennings. Rory Jennings, not Luke Jennings over
Listen, you know what I mean.
there.
He Players look at him and think of Damien Duff, the player. They think about the player that won the league with Chelsea. They're thinking about the player that was in the UEFA Team of the Year in 2002. Like this is what players in England will think about when Damien Duff takes over, and it probably would buy him more time than a Stephen Bradley because of that. But you cannot make the argument that that Damien Duff as a manager is better than Stephen Bradley and Stephen Kenny over winning one trophy. And I was making a point in the last video as well. You were saying it's the Leicester City story, greatest League of Ireland achievement ever. I said it was more of a kind of like an Aston Villa title win. Like they got Europe last season, they finished fourth, so they were in Europe. So it's not like they went from rags to riches. They were fourth, they got Europe, they took the next step, and they won the league. It wasn't like a Leicester City story. And then I was also making the point that so Ross, you think that Claudio Ranieri is a better manager than Arsene Wenger and Jose Mourinho over winning one league, and he couldn't answer me question.
That's
So
just
just
not that. That is absolutely not what happened. That is not what happened. I made the point that finishing fourth in the League of Ireland is actually due equivalent to finishing maybe eighth or ninth in the Premier League because of the scale of it. You know, and like this, if you, when you expand it out, it's only 10 teams in the league. So when you actually double it, that's the scale. You know what I mean? It's not you don't
not the
finish
scale.
fourth. You know what I mean? Like that's the scale. So
It's not the
it's more
scale.
like if Nottingham Forest won the league this season, it'd be
No,
an
because they're not in
amazing.
Europe.
But
They're not.
you're kind of trying to compare different things. It's kind of it's messy. It's tough. It's tough. I think it's
It's
more of a
not.
Leicester type story personally
It,
because
it's
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 more
not tough.
comparable.
You're like he got a newly promoted side and turned them to league champions, which he did. But you're making out that this metric is like double the size of the Premier League when actually it isn't. It's very plausible to take a team in the lower end of the League of Ireland, make a few shrewd signings, and grow them over a 2 or 3 year period and turn them into title challengers compared to the Premier League, where you're just dealing with massive amount of money. Like it'd be like taking Celtic and Rangers out of the SPL and just say throwing I don't know, like Dundee FC into get them promoted and then have them finish third. Like that's the metric we're going off here. It's not this, overcoming Man City and David and Goliath. It is. It's like an Aston Villa story. It's like
I think that is similar to what it is because if you look at the money spent by Shamrock Rovers, by St. Pat's, and by
money
Derry
spent.
City.
Like what? Like it's not like we're spending millions in America here. We're
No,
paying
no,
Richie
but no,
Dale
but
two
in
and a half grand a
comparison,
week.
in terms of wages, like your wage bill is probably triple, quadruple what Shelbourne's is, more than like give or take. And that's what we're talking here, and that's like not just one team to topple; it's two or three teams to topple. Like
Then you turn it into the Premier League. Man City probably have a 700 million budget compared to an Ipswich Town, which would have like an 80 million budget. So it's 7 or 8 fold in comparison. You
so
know,
maybe this is like four or five fold or whatever it is. Like it's like if
so it's
Ipswich won the
half.
league, then
It's,
yeah.
it's, it's it'd be like Ipswich finished on 10th. You know what I mean? Like it's that sort of achievement. It isn't a Leicester
I,
City story.
but I don't think personally I don't think Stephen Bradley could win the league with this Shelbourne side. Do you think he could?
It's hard to say
Oh, there you that's actually a great point that I didn't make like last time. It's a great point.
because like it was the year to do it, wasn't it? Like it was the year to do it. Like we were off completely off, and you rightfully won the league. We had Rory Higgins who couldn't manage a piss up in a brewery at Derry. Yeah, John Daly that was getting them relegated until he got sacked, and then you had Stephen Bradley who had about four fit first team players until about July. So like it
And
was the
it's
year to do
shite.
it.
I'm not listening to this shite. Like Jesus, four fit players. Like hell, this world's smallest violin in the corner over here. Like
Not
Jesus
at all. Listen,
Christ.
we're at the Europa Conference League knockout stage. It's like Zurich, as I said, got like I don't even know where they. I don't even think they made the group stage. No, they didn't. They didn't, and they barred you. So sure, look, we'll have a laugh next season. We're in the Champions League, and Damien Duff is whatever black eyes and so on, and out in Gibraltar, getting and that what, the Gibraltar Espanyol. The home fans are singing as they're beating you
Listen,
3-0
listen.
aggregate.
We're going to be unseated in the Champions League next season. So if you can pull off a miracle again, we'll be huge underdogs once again. And it's kind of sharpening against the world. He's built that mentality. But just for me personally, I think Duff. Um, still disrespected as we can see on this video. He's still a disrespected
No,
man,
he's
despite
not
what he's done for the
disrespectful.
country, despite what he's done for the league. He's brought the league to new levels. He's brought the league to levels that Bradley and Kenny could never bring the league to
That's not true. That's not
in
true at
terms of
all.
eyeballs.
Steve,
In terms of
that's not
if you
true at
look
all.
at Dan McDonald was tweeting out about how the readership articles have gone skyrocket this year. 9 out of 10 of them, top 10, contain Damien Duff's name. He's just brought the league to a new level completely. He's brought us to the New York Times or the Journal, whatever it is. He's brought us to places that we never would have done under Kenny and Bradley personally. And I just
But
think
that's not because of
that's
him as a
besides the point as
manager.
well. I think as a coach and as a manager, and I think he is really top quality. He's earned his
Like
stripes in Celtic. He's done all that, and he's adaptable and he's versatile in his coaching manifesto.
you're
And
making it sound like he's some sort of second coming of Guardiola coaching prodigy. Like this isn't the case. He has a reputation of being an unbelievable player, and he's carried that through into his management. This is not the case of people are looking at Damien Duff manager and saying, "Oh my God, this fella's out there making a new tiki taka." Like it's not that. It isn't.
no,
It
it's not
isn't.
that. No, it's not that. I think I think he works with what he has. He started out with a five at the back system, which Bradley's never been able to adjust from. By the way, he's never actually had the balls
Three
to
at the
actually
back.
go for something different. Um, but Duff has been able to adapt from that five at the back. As he's got slightly more quality in pairs as he's earned the budget throughout the seasons he's been here, and he's kind of gone for more 4-4-2 or 4-3-3. He's adaptable, he's
But
versatile in it, and
if
he
he's
gets
such a
more
great
for it.
manager, if he's such a great manager, why did Will Jarvis choose Notts County over him?
I think that's a budgetary thing. I don't think that's I think he's offered a 3.5 year deal with Notts County, probably on good money. And I don't think Shells were in a financial position to be able to offer that, unfortunately. I don't think it was necessary. I mean, I think there was probably a transfer fee involved as well. So I just think as a financial deal, I don't think Shells could take that risk. I don't think it was a I don't think it was a Will Jarvis. I think if he had a choice, I think he would have be playing Champions League football, not playing League Two next season. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. Like you look at Neil Farrugia leaving Rovers to go play for Barnsley. Like like
I
this is
touched
what.
I Yeah, I touched on that in a recent video, and I thought I was like, I can't wait for the day when that's not seen as an upgrade anymore. It's so sad to me that that's seen as an upgrade, isn't it? Like,
No, it's very sad. Yeah, it's very sad. But like, look, like back to this.
don't
Like,
blame him, don't blame him, obviously. But
I don't blame. Look, you want to. They're thinking you go over there, you have a good year or two, you get a big move. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I
and
get
it's
it.
obviously the
And
financial side and stuff as well.
the
Think,
money changes is a big game
anyway,
changer over there.
back to focus. Sorry, you were saying, yeah, what were you saying?
Yeah, I was just saying back to focus. Like back to this list. Like you're putting Damien Duff first off winning one throw, and I get it. You're a beloved Shells fan that's soaking in your first league title in 20 years. I get it.
Not relevant,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
but
Bias
but
aside,
you just have to put somebody first over. It's like putting Arnie Slot as the best manager in the Premier League. That's not actually exactly what it's like. It's like saying at the end of the season, who's the best manager in the Premier League based off their whole career, and you putting Arnie Slot over Pep Guardiola. That is exactly like what you're doing.
oh yeah, because Arne Slot took over and newly promoted Liverpool, got them to a cup final and safely. Like it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. But
It is the same
it's
thing.
not
We
the
can use the
same thing.
Ranieri one, whichever one you want to use. Like your Klopps and your Guardiolas, which are your Stephen Kennys and Stephen Bradleys of this league, need to get some more respect. And from your side, they're not. That's a shame. But sure, look, we're not going to change it.
It's not, no, not, I was basing this off. So who Damien Duff be the equivalent of? I'm trying to just think about it in my head. So like it's like if you were picking a list now between Mourinho, let's say, like his past is prime, maybe Yatcher Kenny or something. And like, would you agree like someone like Mourinho was past the best, whereas kind of Duff's like the new up and coming exciting manager that I would rather have as it's like Alonso or whoever it might
I
be. Do you
think
know what I
Duffer
mean?
is very similar to Unai Emery. It's a similar enough story. Like Unai Emery took over a team which was battling relegation on paper and turned them into a European level side. Now Duffer went a level forward and won the league, but as I said, the discrepancy with the League of Ireland to the Premier League top to bottom is much different. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like it isn't you're saying a Leicester City story. I just don't believe it is. I believe it's definitely an underdog story, but it's not like a 5,000 to one. It's a 50 to one.
No, it's 50-1. Yeah, it's not 5,000 per se. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But like it's the equivalent of like
Look, my whole point is here. I
yeah.
just think Stephen Kenny and Stephen Bradley deserve more respect than you're giving them.
I have the utmost respect for the two of them. I think they're both really good leaders and good men. Good men. They're good managers. They're good football managers. I think Duff has potential to be a great. Kenny is probably on the verge of being a great, though, to be fair. I just think Badly as a coach isn't. I'd just like to see him outside that comfort zone. Do you know what I mean? Like in terms of not having the best team in the league. I think next season might be a good test for him to see if he can win the league over Pats. Maybe that I would really respect that then because I think and Shells and whoever else. I think he's fun. I think when he won those couple of leagues in a row, there wasn't a huge. You probably admit this that there wasn't a huge kind of challenger there for him. I think next
No, I
season
agree.
there's a real big challenge from there. And if Bradley can win the league next season, I think he'll start to earn. He'll be hard my next.
Start.
Like he'll really earn my respect. And I don't think he will win the
Okay.
league next season, but if he can do that with a proper a couple of like Titan big heavyweight challengers beside him, I think that'd be really, really impressive. And it'd be his most impressive win, I think, of a league title. I think his previous ones, don't get me wrong, it's never bad to win a league title, but the challengers weren't the strongest, I wouldn't say.
So you're basing your list off who you want to play over rather than who trophies won.
Who
So
would I
like,
want to manage? Who
what,
would I want to manage my
what,
team
what,
on the first day of the season? Come on.
like, so what are we basing this off then? Are we basing this off, like who's the greatest manager of achievements, or are we basing this off who plays? Because then, like, you could have like Ange Postecoglou was because he plays the nicest style of football. You know what I mean? Like, you're almost going, I want to play for Damien Duff because I like Damien Duff. He's fashionable. He's a good guy. He's
No,
done well.
no, I just think he's the best coach and the best manager on this list,
I
personally.
think he has the highest ceiling on this list based off the playing career he had, the opportunity he could potentially get off the back of this. And I think he
Yeah,
will be the future Ireland manager. And maybe in 5 years' time, we'll probably look at this and say, who's managing at the highest level? And you will say Damien Duff. But
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't necessarily think that means, as of right now, you could put him ahead of a Stephen Kenny, who has won numerous leagues at Dundalk, got the
That's just
he
where I
got
struggle
Champions
with that argument a little bit. Is because of like Johnny Russell has a higher seed. John Russell has a higher seed than Caulfield, but Caulfield, by this metric, should be above John Russell.
League. But as I said, like
That's
as I
just where
said
I
in the last
struggle with
video,
this concept a tiny bit because
Johnny Russell, John Caulfield in Europe never ever came close with Cork. Yes, he won a league in a year where Dundalk had a hangover from the Europa League, and he had informed Shawnee Maguire up to walk straight into the
but
Ireland team the
he
second
had
he
a
was on a
proper
plane.
challenger in Dundalk as well. Though he did
A
have
hundred percent, a
they
hundred
were going
percent.
head to head.
They had Barneys for years,
Yeah,
but by the same sentiment, when Stephen Kenny left the league, he fell to pieces, and like he didn't capitalize on that. And I just think like anytime they went to Europe, they got battered, and that's why I put Johnny Russell higher than him because John Russell beat Motherwell 4-1 on aggregate on a shoestring, and keeps on kind of like the Keat Log. Why I have him there as well? Keeps on rebuilding, keeps on proving himself over a number of years. That's why I
yeah.
think that respect is higher than winning the odd league. I respect winning the league. Don't get me wrong. Damien Duff is third off the back of that, and like I probably would, even if he didn't win the league this year, I probably would have still had him third, based off what he's done at Shells. But I just don't think it's enough to put him ahead of two League of Ireland legends.
Well, there you have it. We have our list. We'll run through them quickly. I'll go through mine first. We have number 10, Alan Reynolds. Number 9, Tim Clancy. Number 8, John Russell. Number 7, Tiernan Lynch. Number 6, John Caulfield. Number 5, went for Keith Long. Number 4, Kev Doherty. Number 3, Stephen Bradley. Just about made it into the same joke as last time. It's just about made it into third for me.
Still isn't funny.
Yes, number 2, Stephen Kenny, and number 1, Damien Duff. Luke, time for your incorrect list if you don't mind running through it.
10th, Alan Reynolds. 9th, Tim Clancy. 8th, Tiernan Lynch. Just like the same jokes. Like there's
I
just
know, yeah, so
it's
good.
terrible. 8th, Tiernan Lynch. 7th, Johnny Caulfield. 6th, Kevin Doherty. 5th, John Russell. Fourth, Keith Law. I'm just laughing. I'm just laughing and like
Oh, it's fucking brilliant. It'll
it's
take
just
like,
terrible.
I was like, this be a quick one, and then it's fucking 2 hours later. Like,
Anyways, right. Fourth, Keith Log. Third, Damien One League Duff. Second, Stephen Bradley. First, Stephen Kenny.
Stephen Kenny, number 1. Oh, shocking list. Shocking list. No, guys, if you did enjoy this video, please drop a like on it down below. We've literally filmed this part twice now, so if that doesn't deserve a like, I don't know what does.
I don't want to
Please
hear
do
these jokes again, please.
ever
No.
again. Yeah, yeah. Sick of the side of each other now. If we can hit 50 likes, that'd be fantastic. Please do subscribe as well. Much, much appreciated. Let us know your 1 to 10 down in the comments below as well. But yeah, Luke, bit of fun, and it was a pleasure.
Cheers, Ross. Enjoy that. Thank you.
No, good crack, man. It's good crack. So yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Much, much appreciated. And we will catch you in a little while.